Dear learners, now we will discuss the another important branch of philosophy, that is the ethics. So ethics is the study of morality. It is a branch of philosophy which deals with the human conduct. It is classified into formal, natural and moral philosophy. Ethics is concerned with actions and behavior of man in a society. It studies moral values and standards by which one ought to live, ought to behave. It is a general study of goodness which determines right action. The discourse of ethics is the right and good criteria of human activity. It investigates the basic principles which govern the human action in terms of good or bad, right or wrong. And that is why ethics is termed as moral philosophy. It is also a normative science because human being is guided by his basic process of thinking, which is influenced by law of interpretation, law of symmetry, law of impartiality, law of local variation and law of osmosis. Interpretation means application of rational ideas. Symmetry means equal emphasis. The ideas, the principles or the weight is to be given for a particular problem. If we apply some principles on a particular problem or similar problem, and similarly the similar weight, similar opinion, similar process to be applied in same amount, in same emphasis on the other problem. So that is the principles of symmetry, equal judgment. Two things are there in the two cases, the two problematic cases to be defined on the basis of the same principles. So equal emphasis to be given. So that is the symmetry. Impartiality and symmetry both are equal. No partiality is, if we partial, then the thing will be explained in different way. So therefore we will impartially explain everything. The law of local variation means that depends upon the culture, situation, space, time situation. So therefore we can, but actually in case of science or in case of philosophy, the place of local variation is very much negligible. But it is not, it is required, it can be done in case of deduced laws. So therefore, but the law of osmosis is different. Slowly you can start, slowly we can go through the analysis, and that is the principles of osmosis. Here the moral philosophy investigates and interplays the human rationality in times of undertaking any field of activity. So Plato said that philosophy begins in wonder. So ethics is the branch of philosophy arises with the curiosity about the values involved in the human behavior. Human conduct is a chain of voluntary actions. Voluntary actions. It implies the inherent and intense desire for higher ideals. All activities determined by ends and interrelated with ethics. Ethics investigates into the nature of human conduct accordingly. The ultimate goal of the quest of human life is usually mentioned by the words like the good, the highest good and the supreme good or end. Then definition of ethics. What definition is defined from Greek word ethos. Ethos means customs, uses or habits. Ethics is also called as moral philosophy. The word moral is derived from the Latin word mors, which also means customs, uses or habits. Thus literally, ethics is the science of customs or collective habits of men. Any custom has a reference to the community. Customs are the ways of acting approved by the group. The root word ethos indicates that this branch of philosophy was originated in Greece, and the credit goes to the Aristotle. Various definitions are given to explain the subject matter and scope of moral philosophy. Then let us define the various scientists has defined the ethics as such. Paulsens defined ethics as a science of custom or morals. According to Mackenzie, ethics is the study of what is good or right in conduct. For Seth, as the science of the God, ethics is the science par excellence on the ideal and the ought. For J. Sinha mentioned that ethics is the science of the highest good. Lane's definition is a comprehensive definition. According to W. Lane, ethics is a normative science of the conduct of human beings living in society. Science which judges the conduct to be right or wrong, good or bad. So therefore, we can say that the ultimate goal of the quest of human life is to find the goodness. So therefore, the ethics is a science of customs and morals. Its nature can be identified. The definition of ethics mentioned above some common features. The common features are: ethics is a science. Ethics is a normative science also. And ethics is a science of ideals involved in human conduct. Ethics evaluates human actions. This can be explained further. Ethics as a science. Science is a systematic and more or less complete body of knowledge about the particular set of related events or objects. Ethics aims at scientific explanation of its subject matter. Ethics is a normal science because it is cognitive and affective and cognitive nature. Human beings seek knowledge and they try to apprehend truth. They have emotions and they try to create beauty and harmony. Human beings have will to transcend facts and they try to realize good. Logic, aesthetics and ethics study the ideals of human life. Hence, they are called the normative science. The conclusions in positive sciences can be established by these relations of facts. The ideals of normative science cannot be proved. In other words, the values cannot be proved. They only can be approved. Then ethics is the science of ideals involved in human conduct. In that sense, we can say that ethics is literally speaking the science of customs or habit. Habits are settled decompositions of characters. Characters in an inner bent of mind, while conduct is the outer expression. According to Spencer, conduct is the adjustment of acts to ends. It is the purposive activity. Conduct is the assimilation of choice of ends and choice of means with some measures. Thus, ethics is the science of ideals involved in human conduct. Ethics evaluates human action. From that point of view, we can say that ethics is a discipline which considers human action from the point of view of ethical norm or standard. The word right and wrong are used for the evaluation of human action. The word right is derived from the Latin word rectus, which means straight or according to rule. So in discussing the ethics, the scientist, the philosopher, the researcher all have to think that we have to follow the right things. We have to follow the rules. In other words, the human action is said to be right when it is in accordance with the rule. That is the rule of the traffic. The rules are made for some purpose, but the rules are not end in themselves. We will follow the rules so that we are operative, we are optimum in our action. So these are the means of seeking higher goals. The word good is derived from the German word gut, G-U-T, gut, which means serviceable or valuable for some end. So ethics is the concerned with goals and ideals which make human conduct. The human action are said to be good as they are various aim of human life. Ethics, a theoretical science or practical science? This is an important question. Many Western thinkers believe that ethics is not a practical science. A practical science teaches us to know how to do. It is concerned with means. It is a practical science as it points out the means by which the ideals of good health can be achieved. Ethics is not a practical science as it gives us knowledge of guiding principles, but does not tell us how to apply them. Ethics is not art. Ethics is concerned with conduct of behavior, that is with the practical life of individual. So therefore, is ethics an art? Human conduct or art, both are related with activity. Both are evaluated and declared as good or bad. So according to Mackenzie, the difference between ethics and art are as follows. Art is connected to a particular field of skill such as painting, dancing. So ethics is connected with the whole life of the individual. Therefore, we must keep in mind that today courses are conducted for personality development. So therefore, artist can give up his art after some time. He retires singer in single singer. So therefore, we can say that there is good relationship between the ethics and practical science and ethics and moral behavior. So ethics is related with values therefore. Ethics is related with values and it can be developed, it can be discussed by collecting various facts and values regarding this ethics.